know that expression, you learn something new every day? Well, here on Paige's Lessons, I'm going to share with you a variety of insights and self-reflections that will inspire and motivate you to rethink how you process and experience life. I'll be giving my best advice on topics such as relationships, career, and overall life transitions. I can't wait to share these golden nuggets with you. Let's get started. And now a quick shout out to our sponsor. Now back to the episode. It wasn't too long ago when I was waking up every day extremely exhausted. I had no motivation. I was just like laying there. I'm an entrepreneur. I technically don't work for anybody, so there's really no reason to get up in the morning. Sounds very depressing, but really, it wasn't that long ago where I was caught in this rut. Just every morning I had this brain fog. I did not have any energy to get up and start my day. It felt like it was either the same shit every day or I don't know, it was a rut. And something that was really helpful was I, number one, reached out for help, and I worked with someone to address this because I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And something that was really helpful in our conversation was we incorporated a tracking activity. And what that means is on my iPad, you could do this on a piece of paper, but I did it on my iPad, and I made for 2 weeks straight this template that had these specific questions. And so every single day I would answer the questions yes or no, and I would rate from a scale from 1 to 10. And so some of the questions was like, rate the sleep quality from 1 to 10 that you had the night before. Or the top 4 things that I really wanted to accomplish that day was journal, movement, getting outside, and eat healthy for the day, for example. So I would track, did I meet 2 out of the 4 of those things that day? Did I only do 1 out of the 4? So it didn't matter if I did it or not. I was just being a scientist. I was just experimenting if I did it or not, just to see, okay, we have 2 weeks of data, and also monitoring too, what time did I go to bed that night? Since I'm waking up with this brain fog, what else could be contributing? So without being judgmental of my results, for 2 weeks worth of data, what I found was I had this pattern of I noticed my eating patterns were definitely contributing, and my judgments of myself. But regardless, having that activity was such an eye-opener. And I'd really be curious on if you implemented some kind of tracking, and if you did 2 weeks or maybe you did a month of just core questions or core things that you want to try to incorporate every day, and just see what happens. Do you notice a trend that if you do journal every day for 4 weeks, your mood does improve? Or if you notice that you go to bed earlier, maybe you have a little less brain fog or whatever, just notice and be a scientist and look at if there's any patterns or themes. And, if this is interesting to you and you're motivated to change a habit, feel free to message me. Send me an email at connect@paigemitchell.coach, and we can talk about it, because it was cool to just track the data and not be so attached to the outcome. And by doing that, I have incorporated different things. And I do know for myself when I meet 4 out of the 4 of those things on my list, I overall I say like, holy shit, I had an amazing day. So I already know that, but that's for me and what works for me. So as a coach, I want to help others out there. I want to help promote change. And if people want to, adapt and be flexible and have different coping skills and strategies and stuff like that, like I'm all here for it. So if any of that sounds interesting or you have like more questions about it, please email me, shoot me a message, connect with me. If this episode in particular was really helpful, share it on your story, share it on your Facebook or Instagram and tag me in it at paigemitchell.coach. And that way, we can get the word out even more of like, hey, like, let's track our behavior. Let's track our patterns just to see if we could do it, and B, the best part would be if something changed, if something happened. So I encourage you, go be a scientist, track your behaviors. Don't attach a judgment or a specific outcome to it. Just try it out and see what you find. And hopefully, you don't have to do this alone either. Tag a buddy, do this with somebody, do it with your partner or a friend to keep you accountable. And yeah, if you ever want help around this or you're curious to know more about it, feel free to message me.